Grandpa Bill, story time with Grandpa Bill. It's Grandpa Bill's story time. Yay! Hi, I'm Grandpa Bill. Welcome to Grandpa Bill's story time. Come on in, make yourself comfortable, and we're going to sit down and read a good book. Well, welcome. Our book today is When I Was Young in the Mountains by Cynthia Ryland, illustrated by Diane Good. Oh, what a nice picture. When I was young in the mountains. When I was young in the mountains, Grandfather came home in the evening, covered with the black dust of the coal mine. Only his lips were clean, and he used them to kiss the top of my head. Aw. When I was young in the mountains, Grandmother spread the table with hot cornbread, pinto beans, and fried okra. Later, in the middle of the night, she walked through the grass with me to the Johnny house and held my hand in the dark. I promised never to eat more than one serving of okra again. The Johnny house. This is back about a long time ago when the bathroom was actually outside in a little shed. That's where you went in an outhouse, they call it. In this story, they're calling it a Johnny house. That's where you go to the bathroom. When I was young in the mountains, we walked across the cow pasture and through the woods carrying our towels. The swimming hole was dark and muddy, and we sometimes saw snakes, but we jumped in anyways. See, they're swimming in the water hole. On our way home, we stopped at Mr. Crawford's for a mound of white butter. Mr. Crawford and Mrs. Crawford looked Mr. Crawford and Mrs. Crawford looked alike and always smelled of sweet milk. They do kind of look alike, don't they? They run a little grocery store. When I was young in the mountains, we pumped pails of water from the well at the bottom of the hill and heated the water to fill round tin tubs for our baths. Oh, see, that's how they got water out of the ground. They'd have to use the pump and pump the water into the little buckets. After we stood in front of the old black stove, shivering and giggling, while Grandmother heated cocoa on top. Oh, she's heating up some cocoa for them to have hot cocoa. They just took their bath in these tubs. This is how people used to take baths a long time ago. They just take a big pail, it's big enough to sit in, and fill it with hot water, and you take a bath. When I was young in the mountains, we went to church in the schoolhouse on Sundays, and sometimes walked with the congregation through the cow pasture to the dark swimming hole for baptisms. Oh, let's see the little church, and it's also the schoolhouse. My cousin Peter was laid back into the water, and his white shirt stuck to him, and my grandmother cried. Aw, he's being baptized. That's part of their religion, they're getting baptized in water. When I was young in the mountains, we listened to frogs singing at dusk and awoke to cowbells outside our windows. Sometimes a black snake came into the yard, and my grandmother would threaten it with a hoe. Ooh, big black snake. If it did not leave, she used the hoe to kill it. 4 of us once draped a very long snake, dead of course, across our necks for a photograph. Oh boy, goodness sakes, what a big snake. When I was young in the mountains, we sat on the porch swing in the evenings, and Grandfather sharpened my pencils with his pocket knife. Grandmother sometimes shelled beans and sometimes braided my hair. The dogs lay around us, and the stars sparkled in the sky. A bobwhite whistled in the forest. What? See the doggies? When I was young in the mountains, I never wanted to go to the ocean. I never wanted to go to the desert. I never wanted to go anywhere else in the world, for I was in the mountains, and that was always enough. Oh, the end. What a nice story. When I Was Young in the Mountains by Cynthia Ryland, illustrated by Diane Good. What a nice book. Thank you for sharing this book with me today, and come back again for more stories with Grandpa Bill. Goodbye.